Good evening, everyone. This is WA6LDI, your net controller this evening for the SOARA Tuesday Night Net. This net meets every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. on the South Orange Amateur Radio Association's K6 SOA repeater system, consisting of 2 meters, 220, and 440 repeaters. This net is open to all licensed amateurs, and we welcome and encourage all check-ins. For further information, please visit our website at SOARA.org. That's SOARA.org. Prior to proceeding and throughout the net, we break for emergency, priority, or echo link traffic. The echo link is available through the K6 SOA repeater system, San Clemente, or K6 SOA/L for Laguna. Prior to beginning, do we have any emergency, priority, or echo link traffic? If so, please come now. Nothing heard. Again, this is WA6LDI Net Control for the SOARA Tuesday Night Net. Today, of course, is Tuesday, January 20th. Tonight's order of business will be as follows. Announcements for the net, ham band check-ins in any order, and also announcements, as I had mentioned before. Do we have any announcements at this time? Please come with your call sign.
W6CDT.
Copy W6CDT. Dale. Any other stations with announcements? Okay, nothing heard. W6CDT. Dale, go ahead with your announcement, sir.
Well, thank you, Bill. 3 announcements, actually. So first off, we have Winter Field Day coming up this Saturday, 2 days from now, at Killearn Park, starting around 9 a.m. and going until we get tired or cold. Hopefully the rain will be done. It's supposed to rain a little bit Friday morning, I guess, and then clear out. Be a nice day, maybe a little bit cool. You can bring your own stuff event, so basically bring your radio, bring your antenna, bring your power supply, and we can get on the air. Depending on the number of transmitters we've got, what we'll file for is a 3 alpha type of thing, so that means we can have 3 transmitters running simultaneously, unless it looks like a lot more people are going to show up. Don't have to be there all day, just whenever you feel like showing up and whenever you feel like leaving. Much more informal than summer field day for sure. Let's see. And then, of course, the typical announcement for the propagator, K6NLV, Ray is looking for articles propagator. Please send him something. He'd like to print it, and I'm sure we'd all like to read it. Doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be involved. It's something related to radio technology, amateur radio, that's electronics, that sort of stuff. Great. I'll take one more final announcement here in a second. Actually, 2 more. We're having a meeting the following Monday, and it's going to be on MeshCore. It's pretty interesting technology. You may have heard of Meshtastic. It's a similar sort of idea, but a little bit different technically, and I think you'll find it very interesting. I know I will. And then finally, just reminding everybody, you should have received your ballot to vote in the election for the ratification of our bylaws. And if you haven't voted already and you have had a ballot, for some reason you can't find your ballot, email me, w6.org, and I'll figure out how to get you a new ballot. So with that, back to net. Thank you again for running the net, Phil. This is W6.
Well, thank you, Dale, for the announcements. Really appreciate that. A lot of good things coming up here on the calendar. Alrighty, let's have any other check-ins, please. Come with your full call sign and first name.
Alpha India 6 Whiskey Echo.
Oh, good evening, Mike. Alpha India 6 Whiskey Echo. Any other check-ins?
Kilo 6 Hotel India Victor.
Oh, good evening to you, Canute. Kilo 6 Hotel India Victor. Any other stations?
India Mike.
Okay, we had a double. I copied a Foxtrot India Mike. Let me have your prefix, please, and your first name.
Kilo Oscar 6 Alpha India Mike.
Okay, copied you that time. Kilo Oscar 6 Alpha India, Mike. And your first name, sir? KO6 AIM. What is your first name?
First name is Ted. Tango Echo Delta Delta.
Okay, good evening to you as well, Ted. Was there another station in there wishing to check in? Please come now.
November 5, Kilo Zulu Victor, Bob.
And good evening to you, Bob. November 5, Kilo Zulu Victor. Do we have any other stations wishing to check in? Okay, nothing heard. We have Dale, W6CDT, Mike, Alpha India 6 Whiskey Echo, Canute, Kilo 6 Hotel India Victor, Ted, Kilo Oscar 6 Alpha India Mike, and Bob, November 5, Kilo Zulu Victor. The topic this evening is how did you first become involved with amateur radio? So let's go to the top of the list, W6CDT. Dale, pick it up, sir.
Oh, thank you, Bill. And so I guess I'll talk about more recent involvement in amateur radio as opposed to something that happened a long time ago. So I was at Saddleback College taking a course in electronics, just to kind of a refresher. I like to do that every once in a while. And my instructor was Canute, A6HIV. And at the start of this class, for the first class, introduced himself and, introduced all the students. And then he talked for a few minutes about amateur radio. And he said, most people in here are interested in electronics, and amateur radio is a good way to get some practical experience there. Why don't you consider maybe doing something with amateur radio? And I thought to myself, you know what? He's right. I've been thinking about this for years. I should just do it. So I did. I got Gordon West's book and then proceeded to pass the test and join SOARA. Here we are. So with that, back to Ned. I don't remember if it's round robin or not, so I'll send it back to you. So.
All right, Dale, W6CDT, WH6LDI. We'll find. Yes, we know Canute here has helped many people obtain their license, and I really appreciate that, Canute. All right, let's go on to Mike, Alpha India 6 Whiskey Echo.
Not a problem there, Phil, and good evening to the group, especially Mr. Dale and Canute and whoever else is out there. Kind of old story, some friends of mine I used to hang out with, and one of being my father's mechanic was a ham, and always piqued my interest, listening to him and the stories and all of the QSL cards he always had over the shop and stuff like that. And another friend of mine I used to work with that had a ceramics shop and helping her during the summers, and she was a ham by Northern California, and both now silent east, sadly, but it is what it is, and that kind of got me in a nutshell. I just got tired of the hash and trash on the 11-meter band and wanted something a little bit better off. Alpha India 6 Whiskey Echo.
Okay, Mike, really fine. Yeah, a lot of our Elmers, unfortunately, have passed on. But we all have great memories of them, that's for sure. Alrighty, let's see here. We have Canute, the amateur radio creator there, so to speak. Or what would you call an Elmer? There you go. A top Elmer, we'll say. So, Canute, pick it up, sir. K6HIV.
Yeah, what do you call it? Elmer Emeritus posthumously. This is K6HIV from beautiful downtown Rancho Santa Margarita. Thanks for the nice words, Dale. Very kind of you. At any rate, I was just thinking, I'm so old, I remember when 11 meters was a ham band. my DX, Heathkit DX20 transmitter had 11 meters on it. I never operated on that frequency. I took a 40 meters guy back in my novice days, struggling to learn the code. Anyway, How did I get involved in this? Well, I'm going to reset here. I was a teenager, and my dad bought me this little crystal radio set, and I had to somehow, that's probably my family, somebody in the family bought me a Sears all band radio, which is what they call shortwave band. Stuff that did not have a VFO on it, so I couldn't talk. SSD so listening in, and I don't know exactly how, but two of my buddies and I, we were about 14 years old, found out about this ham radio club, and went and attended their meetings. And I think I've mentioned this a couple of times at our meetings, how important the meetings are to welcome new people. And we were welcomed in there. In fact, that we were just kids. Didn't bother the older folks there at all. They got us right in there, got us involved. And that's how I ended up learning about ham radio, and they schooled me on novice test, and listened to me on the CW reset. And that's how I got there. Then my dad bought me the DX20 for Christmas, and I had an old Part 5 aircraft receiver from World War II and or Korea, and a 40 meter Part 5 7 megahertz radio. At that time, coming to device. I don't remember how I got it, but I had to convert the vacuum to parallel, because they were set up to 24 volts, and so they were running series parallel on all the 12 volt tubes. So I had to rewire it, got rid of the generator off of it, and cut the power supply to it, yada yada. Lots of fun. Anyway, that was the start of my career into radio. Let's see, back to you, Phil. Thanks for doing the net for us tonight.
Okay, Knut, my pleasure, sir. Really appreciate the flowers there. And yes, I know what you're saying. I've been licensed myself since 1960 or 61 as a novice, and I was able to just work my way up all the way to extra class. I know I've seen a lot of the changes as well, the DX20s and the other Johnson Viking Adventure for CW and all of that, and the very, very large receivers. But I can go into that next go around. I guess I want to have the other people jump in and tell us how they got started as well, and I can always give my story. So let's go on to Bob, KO6 Alpha India Mike to pick it up. This is WA6 LDI. Bob, are you with us? Kilo Oscar 6 Alpha India Mike, this is WA6 LDI.
Yeah, but that's Ted.
Oh, okay, my error. I don't know where I got Robert twice there. Okay, I'll change your name here in the log, KO6 AIM, WA6 LDI. Kilo Oscar 6, Alpha India Mike. Ted, are you still with us?
Trying one more time. Kilo Oscar 6, Alpha India Mike.
Yes, I copy you. Go ahead with your transmission, sir.
I will probably make this my 76. I'm getting a low battery indicator. Thank you very much for running the net. Just always been fascinated by radios, and finally got around to getting my license a couple of years ago. KO6 AIM, thank you very much.
Okay, sir, KO6 AIM, WA6 LDI, you're very welcome. Hopefully you'll be able to check in again next week with a full battery there. I know those handheld radios can go pretty quick, eating up the power on those batteries. All right, let's go on to November 5 Kilo Zulu Victor.
Good evening, this is M5KZV. Like you and Newt, I've tried to be in this for a very long time. Back in the 50s, I also built a crystal radio like Newt did. My folks bought me a Helicopter's shortwave receiver, and I listened to ham radio for 3 or 4 years. But fortunes being what they were, I never could get forward in moving towards a ham license. So let's fast forward 30 years to the 1985. I'm working at a nuclear plant as a trainer, and several guys in the training department were ham radio operators. I thought, I got nothing else to do. So this sounds like a good time and a good place, and I went ahead and passed the novice and the technician license. That was in 1986, and I've been licensed more or less consistently since then. My story. And with that, I'll give it back to you, Phil. This is M5KZB.
Okay, very good there, Bob. Well, that's the way to get started. You always have a great person that becomes your Elmer, and at times you're really interested, but the life gets in the way, and you don't get a chance to really get into studying for the exams, and eventually it happens, so that's a good situation. Reset. Okay, let me pause here. Do we have any stations with emergency or priority traffic? If so, please come now. Okay, nothing heard. Well, the way I got started, a friend of mine who unfortunately had polio at a very, very young age, it affected him. It affected his eyes. He became blind, and also he had issues walking. One of his legs just gave out completely. So he had some issues, not only blind, but a bit invalid, crippled, whatever you want to say. And I went to visit him one day, and he, of course, was in the dark. He had these 2 radios going, a little Viking adventurer. I think it was, what was the company? Let me reset again. Yeah, CW, a Johnson Viking adventurer, and he had this huge receiver, an NC or a National 100. And I asked him, I says, Frank, what the heck is that? What are you doing, man? And he told me about amateur radio, and he says, well, why don't you get your ticket? And I said, okay, well, what do I need to do? And, of course, I had to learn CW and just the basics on electronics. So I was able to get my novice, and then from there I upgraded to technician, and then I received my general, and that was about it. I went all the way up to extra after a few years later, but that's another story. So at that point, I took that information into the Navy with me when I decided to go into the Navy in the mid-'60s, and just followed through. I became a radioman on board a ship, and at that time they didn't have much CW, though it was mainly sideband and RIDI. So it was interesting, and like I said, I learned a little bit more every day and try different modes and that sort of thing. Okay, let me pause again. Yeah, well, we've already tried to get a few more people on board, so let me go to the top of the list. Dale, W6EDT to pick it up. This is WA6LDI.
Well, thank you, Phil. And yes, after I got my tech license, I really had a desire to do HF after a while. And so I got my general and then much later the extra. But yeah, the breadth of amateur radio as a hobby is just stunning. There's so many things to do. I actually use my amateur radio license to work on some 900 megahertz radio projects in the ISM band, which I could use my amateur radio license to actually experiment with without having to have a type accepted or ISM qualified radio, labeled radio. I can build my own circuits and antennas and see if I can make stuff work, and then if it worked, then we could, commercialize it for, not necessarily for sale, but for still in projects. But with some concept stuff really real handy. But HF always fascinated me, and so eventually I got an IC 7300, and Steve Hoover convinced me to put up a dipole with a STC 31 tuner on it, so that worked pretty well. But of course, one always wants more radios, so ended up with more as time passed. Anyway, back to net, Sebby.
All right, very good there, Dale. Yeah, you work your way up, and you get more privileges and that sort of thing. I remember when I first got my ticket, CW was a requirement, and of course I didn't know it in those days. I had to learn it through my Elmer, and we didn't have oscillators, so I mean they were available, of course, if you can afford them at that time. But again, we were very young teenagers, and we learned CW orally, let's say. I think I had mentioned this before, where we didn't have the oscillator, so we learned it in a way. He would say, well, A or alpha would be da, and da did D, da did C, etc., etc. And that's how I learned it. Walking home from school after the days in high school, I would look at the license plates on the cars and try to figure out how they went. So that was a way of doing it. And I held every license from novice on, novice, tech, general, advanced, and then extra. So really enjoyed myself all these years. All right, let's go to Mike. Alpha India 6 Whiskey Echo. This is WA6 LDI. Yeah, I guess you bored Mike. K6 HIV to pick it up, WA6 LDI.
Net control, this is K6 HIV. Yeah, these are fascinating stories. It's too bad we don't have some more people in here. I always enjoy hearing them. Been in a few other situations where people were talking how they got involved in certain organizations, and the stories are always interesting. How we come into things like that. Yeah, I struggle with the code, and I used to kid about being the world's oldest tech. I was tech, and then when they I don't remember now, they changed it to Tech Plus if you had your code. Well, I did get my tech license. I was 5 years in the code, which in those days was the general class written test and the 5 words a minute code. That was the difference between novice and tech. And then so to get my general license, all I had to do was pass the, I don't remember exactly what it was, 13, 15 words a minute code. And because I'd already passed the general test, kind of stair step thing. And I couldn't do the code. Yeah, absolutely. My brain does not work that way. I always supported the code, and I never wanted to see it go away. And I'm sad that they did away with it because I think it had a certain filtering for the type of people in ham radio. No offense to you other gentlemen who have, ladies and gentlemen who have trouble with too much. I certainly would still be a tech if they hadn't have dropped it. They dropped the code test for general to 5 words a minute, and I got grandfathered into a general, and then they did away with the code completely, and I passed my extra test, and so now I'm extra class ham and can't do CW, so I guess I'll let you know where I fit in. At any rate, It's been a good trip, though. I really do enjoy it, and I enjoy just rag chewing on single sideband on 20 and 40. So, back to net control, K6HI.
Okay, very good, Canute. Let me pause here real quick. Do we have any emergency or priority traffic before we continue? Okay, nothing heard. Real fine there, Canute. Yeah, I know that CW was a problem with quite a few people when they first came aboard. That prevented a lot of people from advancing or even getting their novice for that issue. Can't even talk. So I know what you're saying, but at least, well, you have your novice extra class license, and that means a lot. That's the way to go. That's for sure. Okay, let's go on to Bob, K5KZV. Bob, are you still around? This is WA6LDI.
Yes, this is N5KZV. Like you guys, I struggled with the code also. 86, when I took it, I had to do 5 words a minute. It was challenging, but I did make it, and that's why I never progressed above tech. Like Newt, I had to take the general class written and 5 words a minute to get a tech license. But that sufficed me for a very long time, up until, I think, 2016, my license finally expired because I neglected it, and I just wasn't using it anymore. And then I decided I'd get back active again and found out my license had expired, so I had to retake the tech, and then I said, well, why not? I just went ahead and got the general also. Hopefully this year I will make it up to extra. I'll give it back to you, Phil. This is N5KZV.
Okay, very good there, well, you keep going up the ladder there, so to speak, so that's great. That's great. That's the way to do it. Alrighty, let me see if we can bring anyone else on board. This is WA6LDI Net Control for the SOARA Tuesday Night Net. Do we have any other stations wishing to join the conversation? If so, please come now. Okay, nothing heard, so let's go to the top of the list. Dell, W6EDT, this is WA6LDI.
Well, thanks for running the net, Bill. Not a huge crowd tonight, but some good stories for sure. I don't have much more, so I'm going to say 73. I actually am heading into a study session for CW, for my CW Alpha class, so I need to get back to that. So thanks again for running the net. This is W673 all. I'll listen out and pass it back to you.
Okay, real fine there, Dale. Well, thank you so much for checking in, and thank you for all that you do. I really appreciated your technical and physical assistance raising the antenna that I have up right now, along with your help, and also CHR's assistance, the XYL. So, and by the way, it's working perfectly. Very, very low SWR I'm able to get it down to, and worked a few of the other DX stations that come in every so often when conditions are good. So again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Alrighty, let's go on. Mike, did you pull the pin there, so to speak? Tried calling you before, and no response. Are you still missing? Alpha India 6 Whiskey Echo, WA6LDI. Okay, apparently Mike also signed Canute, K6HIV to pick it up.
Yeah, greetings again. Oops. I'm going through my stuff in the office here. I tried to clean up a little bit of a mess, and I came across a very interesting book, at least the title. Talking about all this ham radio and stuff. The title of the book is Total Resistance, a book by an expert in guerrilla warfare. Long resistance. Anyway, Phil, I'm going to go ahead and make this my 73 round. Talk myself out and board everybody else away. So say good evening to everybody. Thanks for taking the net and doing such a great job. Appreciate it. Say woof to the furry one. for me, and see you down the log, maybe around what is it? The winter field day. So anyway, take it easy. So back to you. So 7th grade, and good night to the net. Good to hear you guys all on 6
Okay, well, thank you very much there for checking in, Knut. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you at Winter Field Day as well. And we'll definitely see you down the log, so to speak. Okay, let's go on to Bob, November 5 Kilo Zulu Victor. This is WA6LDI.
And this is in 5 KZV, and I'll make this my 73 also. Phil, I do appreciate you running the net, and as everyone else said, I think this is a pretty good topic, because it's always nice to hear how other people got tangled up in this hobby that we have. With that, I will say good night and give it back to net control. This is November 5 Kilo Zulu Victor.
Okay, Bob, well, thank you very much for checking in. Really appreciate it. Try to have a good net here whenever it's my turn here, so to speak. Hopefully I'll be able to come up with other topics here in the future. Well, with that, I'll say 73 to everyone who's checked in. Thank you all for participating this evening, and look forward to chatting with you all again real soon. This is WA6LDI Net Control for the Tuesday night SOARA Net. The net is now closed and the frequency is returned, or I should say the repeaters are now returned to normal use. 73 all, take care and have a wonderful evening. This is WA6LDI now clear.